That concludes the opening statements for the candidates. Now we'll go into the questions. Question number one, and Mr. Smith will be the first to respond to this. What program would you institute for neighborhood revitalization?
I think we go back and begin focusing on neighborhoods again, as we did with our CDBG funds, community development block grant funds as they were. What we tried to create is a couple things. Number one, marry government dollars that were available through the federal sources with housing, Habitat for Humanity, who we partnered with, Anderson Community Schools, vocational students, to build some infill housing. We also concentrated those dollars in a shift away from just housing, but also restoration, because the neighborhood can't grow if it doesn't have proper water lines and sewer lines in the services. Great example of that has been cited recently on 17th Street around Sherman, where that area was taken. There were homes that were dilapidated, some had sat vacant for maybe 16 years or so. Those were actually demolished and new houses were filled in, plus the architectural features that made those houses look like they fit the neighborhood.
Okay, candidates, I'll repeat the question one more time and then won't bother to repeat it before each candidate goes. If you want me to repeat it before your turn, just let me know. So the question for you, Mr. McClish, is what program would you institute for neighborhood revitalization?
Currently, right now, we're working on a program, me and my team is, to look at the buildings that are, the houses that are in the neighborhoods right now that can be rebuilt. And we're looking at building, to put a program in to where we could sell these houses to needy families for a dollar amount and give them 2 years to bring this house up to code. This will bring the empty properties off the tax box. It would also build our neighborhoods up to make our neighborhoods look more better. And at the end of 2 years, if they do not bring them up, the city would get it back again, and we'd resell it to another family that would be willing to work with it. We've got the program in the works. We're working final details on it right now to see if it would work. But this is what we're working on to rebuild this town, to break it down, to basically rebuild the new house.
Mr. Melton?
Well, actually, the city is doing a pretty good job as it is in terms of revitalization. Star Realty sold, I believe, a block of 10 houses to the city, and this neighbor on West 10th Street, and this neighborhood was really revised. However, if I'm mayor, my main concern is jobs. Jobs, 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 jobs. You all are in trouble, and you better wake up and find out how much trouble you are in. This has to be turned around, and it can best be turned around by a business-minded community. Thank you.
Mr. Stapleton, what program would you institute for neighborhood revitalization?
I think revitalization is obviously a very key part to rebuilding our community. I believe that there could be tax abatements, there could be low-cost loans. I believe that we should encourage some of our people that live right here in, that work right here in Anderson that don't live here, to move back into our city. And I'm talking about some of our doctors, lawyers, city employees, school teachers. I believe we need to encourage all of those types of people that are not currently living and supporting our infrastructure in Anderson to move back into these houses, revitalize some of these. These are beautiful homes if we don't allow them to fall down. And I think there would be programs through the government agencies that would certainly be fitted to use in these situations. And I do agree that the main focus has got to continue to be selling Anderson as a professional salesperson.
And Mr. Adcock.
I think we need to definitely do some things about the neighborhoods. I think the folks in Anderson have gotten a little down with the demise of GM and so on, and now I think that the main thing is to bring back high-paying jobs. I'm looking into high-tech jobs that would bring in high pay and give people a little bit more incentive to keep up their neighborhoods.
Okay, we're ready to move on to question number 2, which is, what is your plan to increase jobs, to bring new jobs to the community? And Mr. Adcock has the first chance to respond to this question.
I think we need massive action, and one of those things is to bring back, to be sure that we keep the wigwam. We have a great opportunity there. I talked to promoters who told me that we could have the same kind of people coming in there that entertain at Hoosier Park and at the Indiana State Fair. And if we can revitalize the wigwam and make it a going thing with high activity, it'll create jobs, it'll create opportunities throughout the city. Used cars, new car dealers will see our activity with more people on the streets, and we have, I think we have a great opportunity by doing that. Another place that I think will prove be good is Athletic Park. I think we can do so much to develop that into a driving range and a miniature golf. Thank you.
Mr. Smith?
Thank you very much. First of all, new job creation represents probably as much perseverance and hard work as it does anything else. Second, we're only as good as the qualified, skilled, variety staff that we offer in those ways. And that's required to hire skilled people for various positions that can help plug in and make deals happen. As an example also, the infrastructure needs I can't overemphasize. If we had not been proactive in building a road, 73rd Street for Nestle, because it takes about 2 years for the city to turn around a road project, Nestle wouldn't have come to Anderson. So it has to be an assessment based on infrastructure, proactive sales. It's not a matter of waiting for the phone to ring for deals to come to us. We have to be also aggressive and go out and scour the business community for those leads too. 1 minute is not enough.
Mr. McClish?
On creating new jobs. Back in '03, when I ran for city council, I lobbied 2 businesses to come to Anderson, selling Anderson to these businesses. They were Marshalls and Culver's, both of them located here. Since I've announced my candidacy for mayor, I have talked to 18 different businesses, and I've got 13 responses back that they're looking into this area. I plan on keep lobbying businesses without using taxpayers' dollars. If I have to travel to a different city, I take the money out of my own pocket. I've already made trips to California and Tennessee already, lobbying businesses, selling Anderson to them, and they're looking, not committed yet, but they're looking. And this is what I plan on doing when I become mayor, of not using taxpayers' dollars to travel.
Mr. Melton, how would you bring jobs to Anderson?